contest is a steel cage match. Making his way to the ring from London, England, weighing in at 180 pounds, Mr. Griffin.
As we look at the steel surround the ring, Corey, what are your thoughts heading in here?
There is nothing more barbaric than this, Cole. It's like we have a couple of caged animals locked up inside that steel.
The monster among men is here!
And his opponent, weighing in at 385 pounds, Braun Strowman.
The earth is trembling with each step.
I would do anything not to get stuck inside the ring with Braun Strowman.
Oh, Byron, I would pay all of my bank account to watch you get these hands.
What? I don't want to hear you. Yeah, you start to feel like there's nothing Braun Strowman can't do.
Well, there is one thing we know for a fact Braun Strowman can't do, and that is be stopped. The monster among men is unbelievable.
Steel cage action kicking off here, guys.
For generations, the steel cage match has been considered one of the most ruthless matches of all time.
Braun Strowman fans with some reason to worry about here.
But not for a second do I expect him to back down now.
You hate to think this way, but part of me thinks he might be over his head inside that steel cage.
I know it's early, but he has to do everything in his power not to let this get out of hand.
Knife edge chop echoing through the arena. Clothesline!
Right in the back of the neck.
Knee stop!
That'll ruin your leg.
Shoulders on the mat. Braun Strowman kicks out easily.
As a former strongman, I'd expect nothing less from Braun.
The steel cage is a massive enclosure that stands 15 feet in height. For almost 35 years, a select group of high flyers have taken their aerial assaults to greater heights. And when I say that, I mean superstars climb to the top of the steel cage, the real high-rent district, and dive off onto their opponent. And that all started with one man in October of 1983, Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
To your point earlier, Byron, we've definitely seen some unbelievable attacks be launched from the top of the steel cage. And you mentioned the most iconic, the steel cage match for the Intercontinental Championship that saw Jimmy Superfly Snuka clash against bitter rival, the magnificent Morocco.
There's no denying that Superfly set the bar. You look over the years to people like Jeff and Matt Hardy, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, and Chris Jericho. They continued to push the envelope and executed unbelievable attacks from the top of the cage. And watch Rikishi take flight off the top of the steel cage.
Wow. Before 2017's Extreme Rules, there were just 3 previous tag team matches where championship gold was decided inside a steel cage in the history of WWE special events. The Hardy Boys were in 2 of those matches. At Extreme Rules, in order to win the match, both members of a team had to exit the cage and have both feet on the floor.
The Hardys used their famous continuity to gain the early advantage until Cesaro and Sheamus utilized their devastating power to slow the pace of the match down. Both teams battled atop the steel cage, but in the end, Sheamus and Cesaro won the race to the arena floor to become new Raw Tag Team Champions.
Beautiful technique. Ooh, what impact. Oh, nasty impact.
The best way to describe combatants clashing inside a steel cage is its battle of attrition. Sometimes a superstar is left with no choice but to fight fire with fire and do whatever they need to do in order to win the match. And sometimes it comes down to a superstar doing whatever they need to do in order to survive.
Byron, you touched on this earlier, but it's so important for a superstar to accept that there's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide in a steel cage match. That the conflict will be resolved within the 15-foot-high steel walls that surround the ring. And that losing a cage match can mean much more than a mark in the loss column. For some, it has meant the end of their career.
It's difficult to describe the damage that can be done to a superstar who competes in a steel cage match. We see the physical harm, but we don't see the psychological effects from being inside the cage. Make no mistake about it, Michael. The steel cage truly represents survival of the fittest.
This singles contest has a victor.
When you introduce the enclosure, everything is possible. What a match this was.
He really put on a great show.
Here is your winner, Mr. Griffin.
You may not appear that way, but that beaten and battered competitor standing tall inside that cage right now is your winner.
That's the kind of win that makes you feel good about yourself.
What a match that was, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us.